So morning, Richard. Let's now have a look at the starters that we made yesterday. Now, remember, we just made them out of flour and water. And I think we had 2 parts white flour, 1 part whole wheat flour, and then 2 parts water. And we just made the paste. Now, the one I've had in the fridge, I've just taken out now. And it is effectively grown about 30 to 40%. The one I've had out, which is the fresh one, which we made from scratch, it's already more than doubled, and it's actually come up and now dropping down. So I really do need to use this, and it was actually perfect this morning, but I probably should have used it then. So now you can see this is ready to go. Now it has no real depth to it because it's such a fresh one, but I can put it in and make my bread out of it. It's very, very wet. It's very, very nice. Yeah, it has a sour smell, and it's a different smell from my normal one. So I've taken 3/4 of that out, and I'm going to leave a quarter of it in the bottom. And now what I'll do, just to continue this, is I'll put back the ratio that I had before, except a little less water this time because it's already wet in the bottom. Now it's a different measure, so that's about that much, and then I'll put 2 of the white flour. Now sometimes I use bread flour, sometimes I use a plain flour. It depends what I'm building it up to. Okay, so that one's a bit high. It's back to what it was, and then I add the water and stir it in. So this will become the starter. It'll just grow like it did last night. But I'm going to put this back in the fridge because I really don't want it to be growing that quickly every day unless I was baking every day. But ideally I'm baking about every 3 days, which is why that's slow maturing in the fridge. I also think that the maturing in the fridge gives it more depth. It's not as a sweety sour smell. It's just more mature, I suppose. So that's all done. That's now wet. I'll clean the sides and put that up later. And then I can use this in my flour, and it will become, how to explain? The bread becomes lighter, has more depth. If I use a more mature one, and it can become chewy, like in a baguette. So I'm going to use this actually to make a baguette, but I'm going to actually put inside this, some of the dough that I used yesterday when I made my baguettes, because using this dough will add great depth, and this is so nice and fluffy. So I can just add this into here as well, and it's like its own little mature starter. Now I've just put 4 cups of flour. It's going to be 1 teaspoon of yeast, and it'll be 2 teaspoons of salt, but I put the salt in after I've mixed it all up and let it sit for probably an hour. Just let it all go in. And then, being a no knead, I can just stir it, and then what I do is I turn it by hand a number of times over a 3-hour period, and that just creates this fluffy, but it creates a bit more texture to it in the crumb. Okay, later.